Big British yards regularly steal all of the headlines, and it can be easy to forget that we have some wonderful high quality, low volume builders on our shores as well. Haines is just one of those yards. Haines employs highly skilled people to build their boats out of high quality materials where the customer is really invested in building the boat and making it bespoke. This is the 32 Offshore, which was launched at the last Southampton Boat Show. It's got a single 270 horsepower Nanny diesel engine attached to an Andrew Wolstenholme hull. We're in gorgeous Southwold. We're about to head up to Lowestoft, it's about an hour away, to see just what she's like out on the water. The Haines 32 Offshore doesn't really throw up too many surprises. It is, as I said, a single diesel engine boat, 270 horsepower on this boat, which is the largest single installation you can have. But you can have twins up to 200 horsepower each side, which would be good for about 22 knots. This boat, as it stands, flat out, 3,500 RPM. It's doing about 20 knots, maybe a little bit less. But really, you're looking at cruising at 3,000 RPM, which is going to give you roughly 15 knots. It's not going to be fast enough for some, but for a couple who are cruising, doing coast hopping, it's more than enough. And it's an Andrew Wolstenholme design hull. It is a planing hull, but it has a large keel on it, and you can feel that in the way the boat takes the water. It feels very solid in the water. It tracks nice and straight, and although there's not a huge amount out here to test the hull, it's taking it very nicely, and I'm sure would be very dependable in the rough stuff. The helm station on the 32 Offshore is excellent, not only thanks to its ergonomics, but also the way it looks. In terms of your driving position, pretty much spot on, for my size anyway. The seat's adjustable, you have a footrest, you're nice and close to the wheel, throttles, dash, you don't have to lean forward to interact with the plotter or any of the switches, and your view out is pretty much perfect. And I haven't used the trim tabs once today. It really does run nice and level. And then there's the way that the dash looks. It's got a really nice mix of wood, metal, vinyl, looks very classy, modern but without being too flash, and it doesn't dominate the area, crucially. This isn't a huge saloon on a boat of 32 foot long. The helm station is subtle, but absolutely fit for purpose. So a big part of what the 32 Offshore are about is this one level living, and what makes it so good on this boat is these amazing doors. They're made in Germany, and they slide across like this in single panes of glass, so you can see them like that, but then similarly they fold right back like this, and it means that you've got a huge aperture once they're open like this, and then you can just step through into the saloon. Now, due to RCD regulations, there has got to be a small lip here, which means it isn't completely flush, but it's not much of a payoff really, and then you have this entire space to play with, whether it be outdoor or inside. Another neat little party trick is this seat here, which cantilevers with its backrest, so that in this position you can sit back and look out over the water. But this entire little unit here is mounted on a sail rail, so this squab slides all the way to the front, where it can either become part of the dinette, or put the backrest this way and you have a forward-facing navigator's seat. So one of the most remarkable things about being on board this boat is how bright it is. There's a lot of glazing on board this boat, not only the side windows and the big windscreen, but you also have two big panes of glass in the roof, the front one which slides back so that you can get a bit of ventilation as well. The Galley is a real home from home feel. It's U-shaped, so it's good for use at sea, loads of storage, but this can also be a cabin if you want it to be. You can have two bunks here, obviously it's closed off in that guise, and your galley moves up there. But for the cruising couple, this is a really good solution, because you have a nice double cabin forward, bathroom, and then the dinette can convert into a temporary double berth as well. I mentioned in the introduction that this was a hand-built boat, and it's only when you get on board and get close and personal that you really start to see that high level of quality, the hand-built feeling. And this woodwork is absolutely superb. It's some of the best you'll come across, and not only is the quality good, but the design is brilliant. It's got nice fiddles here so that things don't slide around all over the place. The upholstery, the carpets, all really top quality, and even down to the things like the backs of the cupboards just unscrew and come out, so you can very easily get to the bits behind the scenes. It's hard not to be a little bit besotted with this little 32 Offshore. It's the honesty behind it, the boat building techniques behind it, and the feeling of quality on board. It really does feel like proper old school boat building at its best. And no, it's not the most exciting 30-footer to drive, but that's not really what this is about. It's about dependable boating, turn the key any time of year. A couple of you can either go down the coast or go a bit further afield, and it will always look after you and always deliver. All in all, a really cracking little package.